Hello, this is Buddy Bombard with the story of our skillful use of elegant passenger balloons to create the unique pleasures which over the last 28 years have become our hallmark. Much of each day with us is spent with our guides and our hosts, enjoying interesting sightseeing and fine dining. But the highlight of each day is exploring beautiful and fascinating places, drifting gently in our balloons. This video is the story of these daily flights, which are the reason so many of our guests keep returning to vacation with us again and again. The extraordinary skill level of our pilots allows us to bring you remarkably close to the texture and the personality of the interesting places we explore with our balloons. There is great charm in low flight, at which we excel.
Only Bombard apples taste as good.
Oh, boy, that's the height. We couldn't get any better than that.
We continually enjoy surprising our guests by making over one half of our landings directly on our basket trailers. After much travel, we have carefully chosen some of the most perfect areas in Europe to explore and enjoy by balloon. Tuscany is one of these perfect places. The country villas and mighty castles, surrounded by rolling landscapes of luxurious vegetation, are exceptionally glorious from the air.
Did you have a good flight?
Oh, it was the most fabulous experience. Oh, wonderful. Looking down, sweeping down, and all these people running to their windows and saying, "Buongiorno." They wanted to be with us.
They really do.
Unbelievable.
May I present the gracious Princess Irina Strozzi, who has all of our guests for luncheon at her lovely, sprawling country estate, Villa Cusona, which dates from the 10th century, and the 13th century Castello Broglio, home of my good friend, the Baron Bettino Ricasoli, where he and the Baroness warmly entertain our visitors in their ancient Knights' Hall. Well, Micah, my boy, that was the middle of town.
Doesn't get any better than that.
For those reserving consecutive space in 2 or more of our programs, we provide fully escorted and highly enjoyable connecting trips. These links include our usual deluxe hotels, as well as visits to the most interesting features along the way. They are hosted by a senior member of our staff. The serene and spectacular landscape of Switzerland offers some of the most perfect areas in the world for our style of entertainment.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Here's the buddy.
Yay!
Here's the buddy.
Did you have a good time?
I had a ball. That was wonderful.
How about tomorrow?
The Salzburg countryside, famous for its 13 dramatically beautiful lakes, is a perfect setting for our colorful vacation concept. Princess Monty Wittgenstein has entertained our guests in her picturesque hunting lodge with great style for 16 years. A wonderful storyteller, she fills us with colorful tales of the exciting life she is living. Each of our government-licensed pilots has logged over 5,000 hours as the pilot in command of a hot air balloon. Each one of us is known for our artistic sense of play and entertaining style of bringing the countryside of Europe to life. Each of us has 4 bright young college graduates to help in the smooth operation of our balloon. Our guests frequently tell us that one of the most enjoyable features of vacationing with us is the extraordinary way the local people welcome and embrace us as instant celebrities. It is an enormous sense of pleasure for our passengers. When you arrive in a 9-story flowered balloon, you don't exactly sneak into town. Over the years, we have run many successful private family trips, from 3 to 40 members, and welcome all sorts of requests for private arrangements. As our guest, staying in deluxe hotels, you'll normally unpack only once and settle in. The balloons are used daily for local exploration. Normally, there are some 18 guests on each trip. Our dining arrangements are of the highest quality. In France, some of our meals are prepared and served by my own chef and his staff by candlelight in romantic 14th century castles. Our trip in Turkey begins with a well-organized sightseeing program in Istanbul. It then continues on to explore Cappadocia, an astonishing landscape of dramatic natural beauty. Starting in the 4th century, Early settlers found the soft rock easy to carve into cave dwellings. By the 10th century, there were more than 30,000 people living in these homes. The experience of gently flying in our balloons, floating through this eerie wonderland, often deep down in dramatic canyons, is awesome. Prague is a treasure trove of cultural and architectural brilliance. Having extraordinary permission from the Czech government to fly from all the parks in Prague, we are able to deliver a truly outstanding series of flights.
Yes, Fred, I want to peek in windows.
Our guide in Prague is an absolute delight.
This unusually enjoyable program, created and still directed by Buddy Bombard, is the continuation of the interesting life that Buddy has led. His background includes training with the U.S. Air Force as a jet pilot. He has logged over 1,500 hours flying his own private airplane and over 5,000 hours as a balloon pilot. He has also been a glider pilot and scuba instructor with extensive experience in river running, skiing, and yachting. During 22 years of active, competitive yacht racing, starting at the age of 12, he completed 2 transatlantic crossings in sailing yachts and served as a first-string crew member during 4 America's Cup defenses aboard Vim, Weatherly, Constellation, and Intrepid. In the early part of his now 36-year career in ballooning, during which he taught Malcolm Forbes how to fly, Buddy's fleet included 36 balloons. Many years later, Malcolm recognized him with his annual Chateau Balleroy Trophy for his outstanding contribution to the ballooning world. Malcolm had, in the meantime, built his own wonderful fleet of balloons. For 28 years, Buddy Bombard's home and European Operations Center has been located in Chateau de la Borde in Burgundy, France, from which he continues his tradition of providing quality travel and adventure. He is still the host and one of the pilots on all of his trips.
Burgundy is like an elaborately textured parkland, a tapestry of medieval villages, castles, and most importantly, extensive, well-manicured, world-class vineyards.
Now this is wonderful.
A balloon will fly at exactly the speed of the breeze that gently wafts it along.
It just takes your breath away.
Our maximum wind speed for takeoff is but 10 miles an hour. We fly only in light breezes. In such calm conditions, there is nothing that makes the baskets sway. They hang motionless in the air mass in which the balloons float. If you hold a candle in your hand as you fly, it will not flicker. Having chosen areas that enjoy calm weather patterns, we are able to operate approximately 85% of our flights right on schedule. Tranquil and serene are words our guests frequently use to describe the sensations they feel as they fly with us. Nowhere in the world is there a greater collection of chateaux than in the Loire Valley of France. Over 1,000 large country estates, manor houses, palaces, and feudal castles give us an extraordinary selection from which to choose. We visit them on the ground and enjoy them from the air. Each year, well over half our guests return for at least their 2nd trip with us. Some are on their 5th or even 10th Buddy Bombard balloon vacation. Our most frequent flyer has enjoyed 26 of our trips. One of our guests once called a flight with us a magnificent aerial nature walk. She told us, "You are really in the entertainment world. You give us a great new show every day. Thanks for such towering memories," she said.
I can't believe it.
I never want to see castles any other way.
Another guest explains to her friends when asked why she vacations with us so often, saying it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Exploring the grandeur and the majestic beauty of the Swiss Alps in the winter by balloon is a stunning experience. In general, the winter winds of the Alps are the most calm of the entire year.
Are you ready for this? Sure.
We are based in the luxurious ski resort of Stade, where flying conditions are remarkably comfortable. Our guests find it surprising that often they want to remove their outer jackets as they fly with us.
Would you ever believe that it would be this warm?
No.
No.
Not at all.
So on the floor done, I'm picking it
Warm
up.
and sunny. It's like spring skiing.
Your pilots are in constant touch with the local airport weather stations by radio and cell phone. Once the wind direction for the day has been determined, we choose an appropriate takeoff site from our enormous list of private permissions we have obtained over many years. By selecting one directly upwind of an interesting village, medieval castle, or beautiful area we wish to show you, you will slowly drift downwind until you are directly over it for a really good look.
I want to say, after having traveled to 127 countries and been on about 30 different cruises, this flight today had to be the most magnificent experience that I've ever had. And I want to thank you very much.
I see him. Yeah. Oh, look at them. Bunches of them. Oh, yeah.
Simon, I need them for my Christmas tree next year.
It's the most marvelous experience I've ever had. Yes.
that's-
Oh, buddy, that was a wonderful flight. I've never enjoyed a day so much.
Does this have sound on it?
Yo,
Really?
yo.
No, I told Buddy I've traveled a lot in the last 30 years, and this is one of the top days.
Just doesn't get any better than this. It's better than we anticipated. It's phenomenal. There aren't even words to describe it.
The problem is that spectacular just does not describe it adequately, buddy.
We are still the only people in the world offering such vacations. Come join me and let me show you my very private Europe. I look forward to being your host. Come see for yourself just how much fun you can have with us.
Here's to you, buddy, and another spectacular adventure.
Thank you, Dick.
That's what it is.
It's unbelievable, and you cannot describe it. There's no way you can describe it. I looked at the brochure for at least twice a week for 3 months before I came, and I pictured this lunch in the air, and I said, nah, that's not real. They don't really do that. And we did it, and it was formidable. There is no word to describe the whole trip. There's no words to. Yes, indeed, folks, you've got to do it. It's a mistake not to.